Hello everyone, this is Colin once again. It's been a while since I've made a video and I've been taking a break, but I thought that tonight would be a very appropriate night to discuss a topic that's been going on YouTube for a while. Now, by no means am I trying to enter the fray here, and some people might accuse me of choosing a side or essentially trying to entice or continue the madness that has ensued because of the ongoing conversations between one camp, which could be called Islam and Friends, and another camp which could be called Yokub. Now, granted, I overheard a conversation that occurred where Yokub essentially said that you cannot, and I'm paraphrasing, follow a prophet in his opinion that would be arrested for committing crimes in today's society. Now, if that's true, then we could probably discredit almost all of the prophets and figureheads that occur and are named in the Old Testament. But what about Jesus? Is Jesus indeed under scrutiny? And would Jesus, if he lived in today's society, be arrested? The answer, unfortunately, for Yokub and other Christians who take his stance is yes, he would be arrested in today's society. How do we know this? Well, for example, and bear with me because I'm not going to waste time with biblical references. If you really want them, you can message me. We all know these stories very well, people who at least have read the Bible and are familiar with it, that I'm going to state the story and the crime which I believe he would be arrested for. Now, first off, warning disclaimer. Am I trying to attack Christianity? No. Am I trying to attack the person of Jesus Christ, whether he's a man, myth, or God, or prophet, Messiah? No, I'm not. I have respect for Jesus. But I am essentially doing what Yokub asked, to show where or how these individuals would be arrested in modern day society, and indeed I have decided to do that for Jesus Christ. So with that being said, the first crime is that Jesus made water into wine. Now, the thing is, in the United States, to sell alcohol, you need to have a liquor license. According to the wedding feast of Cana, he neither had a liquor license. So he would have been arrested for not being a legal, basically, seller of alcoholic beverages. Also, who knows what the age limit was at the wedding feast? There could have been minors at the wedding feast, and therefore Jesus would have been arrested for supplying alcohol for underage minors. Moving on then to when he basically transferred demons from human beings into pigs, and these said pigs then drowned in in the water, he would have been arrested for animal cruelty. Then, going on to the temple, when he cleaned out the temple, he essentially made a coil and whipped animals and people out of the temple. Now, not only is he having a second case of animal cruelty, he is also committing assault and battery with a deadly weapon. He is also enticing a riot and disturbing the peace. Also, when he overturns the tables, he is actually destroying public property. And when he, according to the Gospel of John, takes the money from the money changers, he's committing theft. Because in all honesty, if you're going to steal someone's money right out of their hand, you are actually committing an act of thievery, according to the United States. So therefore, he would have been arrested for that. Also, going with the enticing of a riot, he then tells his disciples to arm themselves and then go into the Garden of Gethsemane. Well, the thing is, how do we know that his disciples had a license to actually have the swords? Plus, they're concealed, and it is illegal to have concealed weapons and walk around the streets with them. So therefore, he would have been arrested for leading a small militia, which is actually against the government, which means that that would have been illegal to do that anyway. He's leading a group that has concealed and armed themselves with weapons, which we don't know if they had a license for them, and that would be illegal since you do need a license, according to this country, to have weapons. Now, granted, people are going to say, well, those are swords, not firearms, but if we are going to use Yokub's analogy by actually taking past people in their own isolated cultures and time periods and fast forward them into the modern era, then let's face it, swords, bows, and arrows would be the equivalent of today's firearms, and you would need a license for the said firearms or weapons. They had neither, to our knowledge. They had no paperwork. They would have been arrested for not having papers for their weapons and having concealed weapons at that. So with that in mind, we have to wonder how Jacob's test stands for Jesus. If he's going to have any sort of consistency, he needs to admit. Now, granted, I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a business major at that. But I'm not a legal. I do not have a major in law, and so therefore, this is an argument that basically has the law and the stories of the Bible. I'm more familiar with the stories of the Bible, not so much with law. But even if this is not the best argument someone can come up with, to have consistency on Jacob's part, which we've seen his consistency isn't, well, the greatest, he would have to admit that Jesus would have been arrested for at least one, if not all, of the above statements and acts of criminal negligence. So with that in mind, I leave you with this to consider. Once again, my warning disclaimer is this, because I know I have Christians who do watch my videos. This is not an attack on Jesus Christ. This is not an attack on Christianity. This is rather bringing up some of Jacob's points in his challenge. Rather, he brought up the point that you cannot follow a prophet who would be arrested for committing crimes in today's society. If that is the truth, then we cannot follow, according to Jacob, Jesus of Nazareth. Thank you.